We didn't make many changes to the car. I just sort of sorted myself out, got to know the track a little bit around the car, and we managed to hold on for the win.
Race 3 coming up after the break, and we'll find out just who is Nathan Gear. Welcome back to Wakefield Park, the brand new category this year, the Mini Challenge. Now, McFadden, Stokel and Denya are known names in motorsport, but just who is Nathan Gear? We sent Bryony Ingerson to find out.
Oh, well, I'm just a BMW technician. We that found my passion for motorsport reasonably late in life. Yeah, it sort of started off with deciding that wouldn't mind getting into motorsport, finding BMW Drivers' Cup, which was sort of, a reasonably cheap entry-level racing field, and went and built the car, and then first time out ended up getting second and sort of found my calling in life. So, yeah, that's pretty much who I am.
What's unique about the Mini Challenge?
Oh, they're a great little thing. They're surprisingly quick, amazing adhesion around the corners and stuff like that. You've got to get your head around how to drive them. Very different, mostly always driven rear-wheel drive cars. So driving a front-wheel drive car is a lot different, and just adapting your styles to get the most out of the car has been an interesting challenge. But we're getting there. You've sort of got to throw them in there and not get sort of too nervous of the rear flying around, which in a front-wheel drive car normally means the end. But in these, it's amazingly how far out you can get them before they let go. As soon as I got in the car, it just feels sort of second nature to me. I sort of get in there. At the end of the day, it's got 4 wheels and a steering wheel, and if the guy in front can go around the corner yay fast, then you should be able to follow. So, and you always try and go a little bit quicker. So, yeah, we're going all right.
Well, perhaps a podium is not too far away.
Yeah, hopefully today.
Bring it back. The car's on track for race 3, and well, it's an aggregate of the first 2 races, and Nathan Gear starting on the front row with Paul Stokely. He's a big chance for that podium.
Absolutely, impressive young guy there, not much experience, and this has just been an awesome breeding ground for him to step into an identical car to some of these big names, and he's really showing him what he's got.
So he's going to tee off against former Gold Star and Nations Cup champion Paul Stokely. It's quite a measuring stick. We get race 3 underway at Wakefield Park, and it's Stokel and Gear who get the jump. Neil McFadden trying to use some of the dirt to get by Grant Denya.
Look at that dust in those guys at the back there would have had their eyes shut, bit of Days of Thunder through a cloud of dust, and they probably just kept their foot flat and hoped for the best.
So Stokel, the leader, shadowed closely by Nathan Gear. Grant Denya in position 3.
This will be interesting. We just heard from Nathan Gear, and he said if the car in front can go around the corner yay fast, so can I. So let's see if he can keep his eyes firmly on the back of Stokel's car and give him a run for his money.
Refreshingly honest for a racing driver.
Absolutely. No, he was a young guy, loving his racing, loving this new car, and he's obviously very confident in the car. He enjoys the front-wheel drive. He enjoys the rear of the car moving around, and he's clearly on top of it.
Stokel, the leader, down to turn 10, the end of lap 1. In car with Gear in second spot. And these cars running a H-pattern gearbox, unlike so many of the other categories these days that are going down the sequential gearbox path.
Yeah, it's good to see. Majority of the categories around the world are switching to the sequential gearbox at the moment, but we love watching them go through the H-pattern gearbox. It throws that extra element into racing and makes the driving that little bit tougher.
On board with Paul Fiore, and you can hear the car protesting for grip. Look at Neil McFadden really throwing the car around at the top of the hill before the run back down to the official.
Yeah, these cars are beautiful. You can see the speed they're carrying around the corner. You can see the cars sliding round, but they look very predictable. They look like they're a lot of fun to drive, and these guys are just attacking as hard as they can. And
here there, just a little bit of a lift at the kink at turn 9, and this one, turn 10, critical to get the run because that governs your speed all the way through turn 1 to 2.
Typical saying, slow in, fast out. Everything trying to keep your momentum up, but not carrying too much speed into the corner, trying to get the power down these front-wheel drive cars. Very easy to probably get understeer when you're on the power, and you probably just have to be that little bit patient to try and get a perfect exit onto the straight there.
Now, when we talk about these cars, they are purpose-built race cars. They're not minis that have just been taken from the road with a wing kit and some good bits put into them. These are dinky-die racing cars built by the BMW Motorsport factory that build the World Touring Car Championship machines of world champ Andy Priaulx. But Neil McFadden here, under fire from our race 2 winner, Paul Fiore, who really looks like he's coming to grips from these cars, having raced saloon cars back in his native Western Australia.
That's right, the 3 Fiore brothers, Paul, Dean and Todd. Great young fellas, love their racing. And Paul's doing a fantastic job at the moment, getting his head around these cars. Eastern Creek was new for everyone. Now the second round into the championship, and we can really see who's got what.
Here's his brother Todd Fiore, under pressure from David Turner, another Western Australian. They seem to be coming from everywhere lately. Ian Sharon just in behind them, and he stepped out of running in the Carrera Cup car this weekend to focus on the Mini Challenge, and it looks like that move's paying dividends because he's having a much better weekend.
He is. He's doing as many miles as he can. He's just come off doing Carrera Cup at the Australian Grand Prix, and I think they're a much quicker, harsher race car, and after probably getting the hang of one of them, he's jumped in the Mini and he probably feels completely comfortable, and it's allowing him to really attack and get up the front.
Paul Stokel leading the way in race 3, the Mini Challenge at Wakefield Park. Drama at Wakefield Park in the Mini Challenge. Our leader in race 3, Paul Stokel, is slowing with some form of a drama, and the car does not look like it's going to recover. Now, here's a replay at turn 10. Ian Sharon on the inside of David Turner, arguing over racing room. They managed to make it through there okay. This is down at turn 2. David Turner just understeers a little bit wide, bounces up out through the dirt and finds himself now with Michael Stillwell and also Ian Sharon right in behind his rear wing.
I think that was a case of front-wheel drive power understeer there, as we can see. The harder you push, the more likely you are to get yourself into trouble. Like I said before, patience is probably everything in these cars.
Oh, look out, contact there. Ian Sharon launched off the back of Stillwell. And you can see there the damage to the left front of his car. Paul Stokel has stopped on the circuit. It looked like Stillwell's car just didn't come off the corner.
Sharon got himself into trouble there. Unfortunately, he's had to take evasive action as Stillwell's got into trouble and the car stopped right in front of him. And we like seeing these Minis on 3 wheels, but I think he was on 1 wheel for the wrong reasons there.
Just hearing from pit lane that the problem with Paul Stokel's car is that the engine has simply died. So that puts him out of this one, hurts his championship, but if there's a positive, it means that he won't pick up a weight penalty for Barbagallo the next round in Perth. Our race leader, Nathan Gear, heading back up the hill, hustling the Mini through these fast lefts and rights. And he has really impressed, and he's on target not just to win the race, but to win the round.
Absolutely awesome and great shots there, looking at the eyes. He had the eyes on, that's for sure. He was in full focus mode, doing an absolutely unbelievable job, and this will be a huge moment for him in his career.
He's got quite a margin over Grant Denyer in second spot, but Nathan Gear, the split image Mini, has shown them a clean pair of heels this weekend, and this will mean that we'll have 3 different race winners from 3 different races, going to show that the Mini Challenge is going to be one competitive series in 2008. But final turn, checkered flag waiting in round 2 at Wakefield Park. And Nathan Gear wins the battle, and he also wins the war.
Fantastic job. And obviously Paul's run into some trouble there, which is very unfortunate. He's been the key player, but he was there to pick up the pieces, and full credit to him and his team.
Grant Denyer home in second. Neil McFadden finishes in 3rd spot from Paul Fiore. Todd Fiore managed to work his way through to 6th, and Darren Berry had a great run in 10th. Nathan Gear wins the round, 12 points clear of Grant Denyer. Paul Fiore stands on the podium. That final race, DNF, really hurt Paul Stokel. He finished in 5th.
You know, you never really want to win by the failure of something else, but you know, but it is going to be a very competitive year, and I'm sure we'll be back, so I will take this one just to help us with the points game.
And speaking of the points game, it's Grant Denyer who now leads the way in the series. 12 points clear of Neil McFadden, and Paul Fiore's great weekend sits him in position 5.
Regardless of championship, I actually just enjoy driving these things, you know. You go past one another down the straight, you give them a wave or a one-finger wave on the way past, and look, everyone gets along. The trick is with these things is just trying to stop the front tyres from spinning up as you put the power down, you know. They're great little race cars, awesome under brakes, and fun to make a move on each other, so it's going to be here for a long time.